Hey guys, Will here with W.T.F car reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the all-new 2023 Honda Accord LX.
And a big thanks to Jackson at Love Honda in Homosassa, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to their inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Homosassa, Crystal River, Weeki area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out and ask for Jackson.
And for those of you guys who don't know, the Accord sedan has been a staple part of Honda's lineup since 1976. After 47 years of being one of the best sellers worldwide, Honda released this all-new ground-up redesigned 11th generation Accord. Outside of the redesigned interior and exterior, Honda also ditched the loved 2-liter turbo engine, which was basically shared out of the Civic Type R, leaving us with just the 1.5-liter turbo that you see here for the LX and the EX trim, and a 2-liter hybrid in all trims above the EX. There are 6 trim levels for the 2023 Accord, starting with the LX with a base price of $27,295. Still pretty well equipped, of course, coming with that 1.5-liter turbo, which cranks out 192 horsepower, 192 pound-feet of torque, made it to a CVT transmission. We get a standard 10.2-inch digital gauge cluster, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, a 7-inch touchscreen, Honda Sensing standard, full LED headlights, a self-opening trunk, and adaptive cruise control with active steering, all for a base price of $27,295. What else do we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So up front, you notice your fully redesigned front end styling. We still get full LEDs for the base LX trim. LED daytime running strip right up top. It's not actually flickering in real life. It's pretty inconsistent the way the camera picks up some of these LED lights. But the Honda badge houses your Honda Sensing, solid airflow for the radiator up top, and intercooler down below. Hopefully you can pick it all up on camera with some functional airflow in both of the front corners. We'll take one more step back though, get a good look at this redesigned front end styling. You let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Personally, I like this redesign. It looks completely different from the previous version, so it's gonna take some time to get used to. From a styling aspect, I don't mind the front end styling, and I really like the rear and the wheel and tire setup. This is the base LX trim, so we just get these 17-inch rims wrapped in Hankook Kinergy GT all-season tires. Dimensions being a pretty beefy 225/50 R17, so the 225 wide tires should be enough to put this power down, and the 50 series sidewall should help keep the ride quality nice and soft. I like how we don't have any plastic cladding surrounding the wheel well, a little bit of plastic for the rocker panel side skirt area. The mirrors are foldable. We don't get an LED turn signal on them. We don't get blind spot monitoring either for the LX. If you want blind spot monitoring, you can option up to the EX, which is only about $1,500 more. But this is the base LX, the bargain trim for the Accord, so we do not get blind spot monitoring. But we do get smart access for the driver and the front passenger. Push to start standard, unlike the Camry. Black trim for the bottom part of the window trim, blacked out B-pillar, a little bit of shiny chrome right up top. No moonroof, no sunroof, but we get a shark fin style antenna. No smart access out rear, but wouldn't be expected. We didn't have that either for the Sport Touring. I'll take one more step back, or a few steps back, so you guys can pick up the side profile of this pretty sleek looking 2023 Accord. The rear styling kind of reminds me a little bit of a Tesla Model S from this angle. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. We'll take a quick look at the window sticker, see everything we got available on the 2023 Accord 1.5 Turbo LX. Platinum white pearl metallic paint, that's a $455 option. That's the only option on this $27,000 LX. Standard features, you guys can pause, take a look at everything we have available. $1,100 for destination and handling charge totals us out a tick under $29,000. Fuel economy, it's about 10 mpgs worse compared to the hybrid, 32 mpgs, 29 city, 37 on the highway. The hybrid was estimated around 44 combined. And for the pretty aggressive drive we had on the road in that hybrid, we averaged like 35 mpg, so it truly is a really efficient vehicle. Here we're probably not going to average 32, probably going to average closer to like 25, 26, at least for my aggressive test drive. Out rear, same rear wheel and tire setup. The only difference is a smaller rear brake caliper, push to open gas cap, easy fill. I recommend throwing premium fuel for this turbocharged engine. Honda doesn't give us any recommendations on the gas cap, but this turbocharged 1.5 liter has been recommended with premium fuel in like the Acura Integra and the Civic Si, so I'd recommend just putting premium fuel in this Accord. LED taillights, LED turn signal, and reverse light in the center of this light pattern. I'm really liking that light pattern. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, but this rear styling, I think, looks very premium. Accord badge in the corner, no LX badge. Not a big deal though. You can take a quick look at your exhaust tips. We get dual exhaust here on the 1.5 liter turbo Accord, just like on the CR-V. Speaking of the exhaust tips, let's fire up this 1.5 liter turbo and hear how she sounds. All right, guys, that was the sound of the 1.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder sold by Honda for the 2023 Accord. It sounds okay, it doesn't make a whole lot of noise, but it makes a healthy amount of power at 192 horsepower, 192 pound-feet of torque. Enough to get this 2023 Accord to 60 around 7 to 7.5 seconds. So certainly not the fastest, but acceptable performance, and it gets pretty good fuel economy at 32 combined MPGs. But what you see is basically what we get. We can shut this hood right up, no struts, got to use a prop rod, or in this case, my arm, the prop rod is sitting right there in the left corner. We can shut this thing right down. It doesn't close. Got to use a little bit more effort. There we go. That's about it for the outside of this 2023 Accord. Hopefully you can pick up this platinum white pearl metallic paint color in this Florida sun. The interior for a base LX, let's take a step inside and see what we got. Again, smart access for the driver and the front passenger, no blind spot monitoring on the glass. Taking a step inside though, up top, still soft touch materials. The middle portion is hard plastic. The armrest, it's not leather, but it's a soft padded plastic material, comfortable spot for your arm. Auto one touch up front, power windows our rear, 4-way adjustable electric mirrors, speaker on the door panel. This is a 4-speaker sound system. You can upgrade to an 8-speaker simply by just going for the EX, but the LX here has a 4-speaker sound system. Decent storage in the corner, just like the Sport Hybrid we reviewed. You'll fit a 20-ounce water bottle, maybe a 24, and possibly squeeze a foot long right next to it. No nameplate stepping inside. Cloth seats, they're a different color scheme compared to the Sport Hybrid we reviewed, but basically the same seats. The only difference is they are not electrically adjustable. You can still recline, drop, lift, and slide the seats to the latches. But taking a step inside, we can really check it out. So foot on the brake, engine start stop, everything fires right to life. But first thing we notice is outside of the smaller touchscreen and the non-leather wrapped steering wheel, there are really not many differences between this and the Sport Hybrid. We also don't have dual zone automatic climate control, but we still get automatic climate control. It's just not dual zone. Both zones are going to have the same temperature, but really not a big deal. Most people sync up their dual zone climate anyway. But starting with the steering wheel, it's pretty thick. The only difference again is that it's not leather wrapped. The shape of it is basically the same, solid 10-2 bolstering notch. 9-3 fits well in your hands. 3 spokes down below. The horn area is also rubberized. The horn itself, pretty aggressive sounding horn. People should definitely be getting out of your way. We'll do a window check. We didn't have dual panes on the Sport Hybrid, so definitely no dual panes here for the LX, but we'll see how it is as far as sound isolation once we take this car out for a drive. On the left side of the steering wheel, volume and skip controls with voice commands and adjustments for the left side of your digital gauge cluster. We have USB, AM, FM, back, customized display, Bluetooth, USB, and right back to where we started. Press this back button and you return right back to the tach, which goes to about 6,500 RPM, pretty high revving for a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. On the right side, we have 160 mile-an-hour speedometer, and we have radar cruise control with active steering on a base LX. The adjustments for the right side are right over here. We have seatbelt information, driver attention, speed and time, range and fuel, and TPMS, which is currently not calibrated. Settings, vehicle stability assist, brightness, and no content. Safety support too, maintenance, and right back to where we started. My personal favorites to look at all times will probably be right here, range and fuel. Digital speedo in the center, and watch this in the center too. Beneath that digital speedo, we have a little emblem of a 2023 Accord with its brake lights on. My foot is currently on the brake. I'll take my foot off the brake, and the brake lights turn right off. Pretty cool feature. Brake, no brake, brake, no brake. It responds pretty quickly too. The stocks have a very satisfying click. We have auto headlamps as a standard feature. No rain sensing wipers wouldn't be expected, but the intermittent stock right here in the center. To the left of the steering wheel, we have an air vent, tilt and telescoping steering wheel. The materials all throughout this dashboard are soft touch too. Trunk release, hood latch release, and hopefully you can get a good look at your pedals. They're not aluminumly outlined like they were on the Sport Hybrid trim, but still they do their job. Soft touch for the entire dashboard, 7-inch touchscreen, unlike the 12.3 from the Sport Hybrid we reviewed, but it's still functional. We have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Even the Sport Hybrid with a 12.3-inch screen did not have navigation. So as long as we have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, basically the same thing, just a smaller display. You can skip your songs, just the volume, phone, radio, media, and connect. You press menu 2, and here we have all our settings, sound settings, Bluetooth settings, clock settings, volume, RDS, rear camera, language, data sharing, license, and the factory reset. My personal favorites to look at all times would probably be the radio, even though we currently don't have anything playing for copyright purposes. Beneath that, more soft touch materials, air vents, very Civic-esque. I kind of like how Honda has this all throughout honeycomb air vent design. It kind of looks very unique, and the adjustments for it feel pretty premium. Beneath that, single zone automatic climate control, no heated or ventilated seats, of course, 2 USB-C ports, no wireless charging pad, the gear selector controls, the CVT transmission. We'll take a quick look at the backup camera. Decent resolution, it takes up the whole screen. We get guidance lines and trajectory, 3 different views, a little wider view and over the top, kind of like a trailer hitch view, but we'll leave it in the standard view for the purpose of this review. We throw right back into park, we return to the home screen. 2 cup holders in a funky shape. They kind of have this octagon stop sign design to it with these 2 pushy things to keep the drinks in place. Pass through, good spot for a phone. Econ mode, auto start stop you can disable, electronic parking brake with brake hold. Hard touch materials for what you need will often hit. The armrest though is gushy soft. It's not contrast stitched like it was in the Sport Hybrid, but similar vinyl material, very soft, nice area to rest your arm. Massive console. You'll fit a 12-pack of 12-ounce cans and an additional 12-volt in there too. The glove box, you can pull this latch. It is damped, not lined with felt, and it's not the largest, but you'll fit 10, 15 license plates. You'll fit a pair of shoes in there if you're under a size 7. Close this thing right up, just like the Sport Hybrid. We don't have an auto-dimming rear view mirror, but it's basically frameless. You pull this latchy, flappy thing to dim the mirror. Interior light is LED. No moonroof. I believe the EX trim and up all come equipped with a moonroof, but that's about it for the front seat of this 2023 Honda Accord LX. Pretty well equipped for an LX trim. Let's hop out back, see how much space is offered back there, as well as the overall quality of the material. So up top, we got hard plastic in the Sport Touring, so of course we have hard plastic here on the base LX, but the armrest is still that same material as up front. Pretty comfortable spot to rest your arm. We have an aluminum door handle, no speaker on the door panel because it's only a 4-speaker sound system. We have 2 additional speakers right here in the back of this vehicle. Decent storage pocket, you'll fit a 6-inch sub in there with no problem. Massive legroom. The rear seats, same materials up front. The padding goes all the way up to the door frame, very couch-like seats. We'll unbutton the seat belts. Cool, taking a step inside, I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall, sitting behind my seat settings, and I have a ton of room for my knees, almost a foot, unlimited room for my feet, but headroom, my head is almost starting to touch because of the way that this roof slopes down. So if you're over 6'3", 6'4", your head may begin to touch, but if you're under that, you'll have absolutely 0 problems in the back of the 2023 Accord. You can always, since we have so much legroom, just scoot your butt forward a little bit, and now I have like 7-8 inches of headroom, but you're gonna have to compromise some of your legroom if that's what you want. That's about it though, guys. We get a center cubby, no string, you gotta jab your hand into it. It's pretty soft, 2 cup holders. You'll fit 24-ounce bottles. Mat pocket behind the passenger seat, no air vents anywhere in this back seat. I believe we have something going on under the front seats, but no air that blows directly into your face, at least not on the base LX trim. We also didn't have it on the Sport Hybrid, but I'm sure the top trims like the Touring, the EXL, or maybe even the Sport L have rear vents, but we don't have that here in the LX. That's about it for the back seat. Let's check out the cargo space real quick and then take this 2023 Accord LX out for a drive. So underneath the Honda badge is a button for a tailgate that basically electrically shoots open. That's nice as a standard feature for a base LX. 2 latches to drop the rear seats too. These hinges, however, will crush your cargo, so make sure you don't pack anything up higher than that. The trunk though, check out the size of this thing. The opening is massive. The floor itself is massive. You'll fit a golf bag horizontally with no problem. You'll definitely fit it diagonally. The trunk itself, also pretty deep considering how massive the backseat legroom is. If you take a quick look underneath this floor, we have our jack, fix-a-flat kit, and a spare tire. We did not have the spare tire on the Sport Hybrid, but we did have a little bit of a cubby for secret storage, which we don't have here. As you mentioned, there's 2 latches to drop the rear seats down, and if you drop them down, I'd expect you to fit a 65, 70-inch TV back here. That's a massive opening for the rear seats. Pretty massive trunk in general. We can shut this trunk right down though, walk around this 2023 Accord LX one more time. It's a nice vehicle. I've heard mixed opinions about the styling of this 2023 Accord, but I personally don't mind it. I actually like the rear end styling quite a bit. I mentioned it reminds me a little bit of a Tesla Model S, whereas the front kind of reminds me of an Acura TLX. Performance-wise, let's take this car out for a drive and see what it's got. All right, guys, now just about seen everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the 2023 Honda Accord LX. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. So remember, 1.5 liter turbo. This is not the hybrid. About half throttle. Good torque. Yeah, the CVT doesn't really do this vehicle a whole lot of favors. Let me fix these mirrors real quick. Wow, I should have done that first. The previous Accord with the 1.5 turbo also had a CVT, but if you went with the 2.0 turbo, you ended up getting a 10-speed automatic transmission, and that transmission was snappy. Definitely a little bit better than what you get here. But again, if you went 1.5 turbo last year, you would have still ended up with a CVT, so not a whole lot different. Now that we're driving at highway speeds though, It's a windy day today, and you don't really hear any wind noise. We only get single pane windows here in the LX. We only get dual panes on the hybrid touring, but it's still very quiet here. These thicker sidewall tires are a little bit softer when it comes to ride quality, but we'll see how it is once we get in some heavier bumps. Light throttle, pick up speed pretty well, decent torque. We have 192 foot-pounds here, and it feels solid. All right, right here, we can try a little highway pull, see the torque, see the power on the gas. Okay. So it shifts us early, shifts around 5,500 RPM. That's really when the torque starts to fall off the turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Up until about 5,000, it pulls pretty strong. I can see 0 to 60 happening in the mid 7-second range. Feels about a second slower than the hybrid we just reviewed. We'll take a step out into this road, see how the steering feels through some twisties. But over the bumps, it feels very soft. It feels just as soft, if not softer, than the hybrid we just reviewed. And the steering feels on center. The car doesn't feel like it rolls a lot. I think the handling feels a little bit tighter and sharper compared to the 2022. Taking a step out here, we got some big bumps right here. Ride quality is great. The steering feels good too. The steering felt a little bit better in the Sport because the Sport had skinnier profile tires and 19-inch rims, just felt a little bit grippier. And it had 235 wide tires, whereas this has only 225 tires. But it feels very similar. The biggest difference I feel from the steering is the lack of a leather steering wheel. You throw the gear selector into Sport mode, immediately downshifts us a ratio, not a gear ratio, but the response by half throttle. Yep, definitely responds quicker. The steering and handling feel very good. Another thing I'm noticing is, although the sidewall of these tires is a little bit thicker, I hear a little bit more road noise than the Sport. My only guess is the Sport had the Goodyear Eagle touring tires, which are one of the more expensive all seasons in the business, whereas this has Hankook Kinergy GTs, which are still pretty decent all season tires. They're just not at the same level as the Goodyear. So even though they're a little bit thicker, they aren't quieter. We try out the active steering here on the LX. We tried out the active steering on the hybrid, and I wasn't necessarily too impressed with it, but here it keeps us in our lane. I'll try to pop it out. Yeah, keeps us in our lane. No complaints. We'll try this. Adaptive cruise control. Okay. And it should keep us going the same speed as the car in front. There we go. We're slowing down in front. We'll see if we use any brake pedal. Nice. We're slowing down pretty quickly. Yep, brakes. I'm not touching the brakes right now. It's slowing down completely for me. Wow. That was all car. It's a little bit strong on the brake pedal. I probably wouldn't have stepped on it that hard, but it's a nice feature. Also, after the guy ends up making his turn and you got the open road, whatever speed you have set on that dynamic cruise or adaptive cruise control here, it's set for 49 miles per hour. Once he gets out of your way, the car will automatically speed back up to that set speed. Very advanced feature, especially for a base LX starting around the $27,000 price point. All right, throwing it in. The body roll feels limited on the gas. Typical Honda VTEC style, after about 4,500 RPM, just like in the CRV we reviewed, it almost has another life. It pulls strong starting around like 1,500, and then it kind of feels a little bit dead between 3,500 and 4,500, but then after 4,500, just seems to pick back up again. It's interesting because the torque numbers are the same as the horsepower numbers in this car. I would be interested to see like a torque graph, because it kind of feels like it would be like inconsistent. The twisty, steering feels all right. We're still in sport mode, so we're turning around 3,000 RPM. I was wondering why the gas pedal is feeling so sensitive. So put it right back into regular drive. Drops us into overdrive, and at about 50, 55 miles an hour, we're turning about 1,500 RPM. That's why on the highway, we can get up to 37 mpgs, but still not as impressive as the hybrid. Although the hybrid on the highway is only going to average 41. So on the highway, both cars will get about the same mpgs. It's really the city which makes a difference. Here we get about 29 mpgs, whereas the hybrid is going to get 46. All right, guys, looks like a decent opportunity to try an acceleration off the line, and then we can wrap things up. Okay, off the line, on the gas. There we go. See what I mean? It just picks back up after like 4,500. But overall, this is an impressive car. Sub $30,000 price point. This is probably the best value family vehicle you can find. Compared to like a Camry base model Camry, where you don't get push button start, you don't get intelligent access, same cloth seats. I think you get more legroom here in the Accord compared to the Camry. You definitely have a larger trunk. So if we're comparing base models, I think this Accord is better equipped than the base Camry, no questions asked. Power plant wise, 192 horsepower. It's a little bit down to the Camry's 200, but the 192 pound-feet of torque is up compared to the Camry's 180 or 182. But overall, again, you're looking for a base entry-level mid-size sedan. You want a spacious back seat, a spacious cargo space, decent performance and decent fuel economy, but you don't want to spend over 30,000 bucks. I think the 2023 Accord LX is a great way to go. And a big thanks to Jackson at Love Honda in Homosassa, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to their inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car or SUV in the Homosassa, Crystal River, Weeki Wachee area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out. And as for Jackson, and huge thanks to all of you for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out, the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you'd like to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.